Alrighty, are we good to go then? Is this it? Is this where we're going?
Think so.
This is it. Alrighty, let's go ahead and break down what this match is looking like in terms of composition for the Ember Hand and for Sapphire. Look real quick. We've got Wraith on the side of Ember Hand along with McGinnis, Dynamo, Paradox in there for Yamato along with Infernus. There for the Sapphire, we've got the side of Lady Geist, Kelvin, the side of Abrams, along with Pockets, this man, a Bebop, and 7 to close things out. So we're going to be looking at dual lanes of Kelvin along with Pocket. They're facing up against Infernus and the Lady of McGinnis. They're on blue lane. We do have Bebop and Abrams facing off against Dynamo and Yamato. So certainly we'll be looking to see what these inside lanes look like. These outside lanes are into the 1v1s, of course. We do have Lady Geist facing up against Paradox, along with 7 facing off against Wraith there on the yellow lane.
So have we seen like the dual lanes being the middle ones the whole night around, or has that just been these guys?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, is there any specific reason for that? Easier for ganking?
Earns and mid, I guess.
One thing I will note really quickly is we did see the initial pick come out. It came from the man of Kelvin, able to find the pick onto the Lady of McGinnis, which is an unfortunate pick when it comes down to it. McGinnis can be very tanky as long with a lot of DPS, but unfortunately she did get picked out, which allows the initial souls to start to go their way. We're going to see picks back and forth, at least here for the time being. Infernus able to find out one as well. It's going to keep things nice and even.
Uh-oh, what's going on?
Bit of a pause. That's what's going on.
Yeah, wait, someone's typing something. All I can hear is healing noise. Oh, can he oh, he's reconnecting. Okay, it's a client bug, probably, surely.
Right.
Yeah, so we're getting a reconnect by CJ Practor or something.
Yeah, so that's what's interesting about the McGinnis pick though, because the 2 stamina and not having any movement ability really does hinder her, but she is terrifying when she gets her gun going. Like she definitely, I do believe she has the highest base DPS in the game. So once you have the fire rate built up even a little bit, you shred. But like considering what happened last game as well, with the, I would say the overall teamwork that these guys have had to sort of go up against, might not have been the best pick, but still not that far gone.
One thing I will note really quickly, especially over there towards York, it looks like Kelvin could be able to go ahead and flex over towards that side. But look at this. Infernus and McGinnis have gone ahead and started to fight for that York side, that yellow side. They could be able to go ahead and start to really roll that way, but Kelvin flexes over as well to assist his teammate. So when it comes down to that fight over there, it's going to come down to seeing what ultimately they do pull off. But we've seen at least the side of Orchard Boulevard turn from a 2v2 into a 1v1. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, Ray could be able to catch out Pocket, but it comes down to seeing if she's able to go ahead and find that initial pick.
And I mean, already that Soul's difference is kind of starting to pick up just on the back of those early picks. And being able to take down the Guardian as well.
So Wraith has pulled off pretty hard. We're going to see the man in Pocket go ahead and be able to maybe, I think he finishes this Guardian. Yeah, that's a big opener. Allows him to go ahead, get that fine ability unlocked as long with backing off, not necessarily needing to overfight that. He could be able to go ahead and take this engagement here with Wraith, but doesn't seem like he wants to. Just wants to go ahead and play for a bit of a buy. Meanwhile, over on that blue lane, look at that. Dynamo and Yamato, they're facing up against the man of Abrams. He's the last man over there. No one assisting him here for the time being. If they can find the pick onto him, they definitely have the chance to go ahead and really pull things through. We'll see Pocket go ahead and rotate over to play for that fight as well. Sorry, he goes for York Street to go to assist his two teammates. But no, he backs off. That's surprising. I thought he might commit into playing for the fight towards York Street, but doesn't want to opt into it too hard.
You know, I do wonder if the recent golden statue change does sort of end up being a pretty significant buff if someone dedicates a lot of time to just making sure they get every single one of those early game. Because I mean, it's a permanent change and it's not great, but it does stack.
Yeah. Infernus should be able to go ahead and gain himself a lot of extra room. I think he finds to pick onto the Guardian there. He should be able to. We do see a player flexing back. That is 7. That's going to force him. We see Pocket reacting to it pretty quickly. Man, him staying back towards Orchard, I don't like that. They could have been able to go ahead and gang up on 7 to find that pick and allow them to go ahead and find that Guardian. Instead, they back off. I don't like that. But regardless, over there on the peak lane, we do see a bit of a fight occurring. At least for the time being, it's a bit of a 3v3. We have seen Emberhand forced off of it. They're not allowed to necessarily over-engage. They've lost that Guardian, but we do see a bit of a fight about to occur, most likely, against Lady Geist and co over here on the side of Broadway. Man, they're forced off super quick. They've got to go ahead and find these picks back because they're down by 9k ultis. They've got to go ahead and at least attempt to bring things back into favor. I'm not sure how they need to do it just yet, though, because the Amber Walker here on Broadway is starting to get damaged rather severely. So I'm wondering, for you guys that are in commentating and in the chat, we'll just go ahead and make this a broad one. Which way do you think Amberhand need to go for this? Because for the time being, they are down by 15k. Things are incredibly scary. What do you think they need to change up in order to start bringing this back?
To be honest, I think their general team work is, I mean, I don't think it's lacking necessarily, it's just not as good. Because every team fight seems to be quite well coordinated with their ability usage.
Yo, Grusker is like a giant insect in your room. It's like beeping.
Wait,
or
what?
shh. It's like a ambient noise. Shh.
Fuck. Okay, wait, let me just... Is it fine now?
Talk.
Like, check.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think they're necessarily bad, but it does feel like it's not as good. It's just genuinely not as good. Every team fight seems to be really coordinated, and that's definitely making a difference because even though this time around this is not as, I would say, dominant as the last game, but there's still a very clear difference in souls, a very clear difference in kills.
I can definitely agree with you on that. I mean, at least for the time being, we've seen 9 kills to 1, which is absolutely brutal. We saw Infernus get himself an initial kill there pretty early on, but after that, the rest of the team hasn't been able to show up. We have seen Wraith die 4 times. We've seen Beginner's only die once. Of course, Dynamo, he's been able to just go ahead and really just conserve himself, not necessarily over fighting against that, which is a great look towards him. But I mean, he's 0-0 and 0, which isn't brilliant as well. Meanwhile, Paradox along the Yamato are just 0-2. But we do see an initial fight, just to highlight real quick, we see the mid boss get absolutely shredded by Sapphire. That's going to allow him to go ahead and get that initial rejuve and be in a comfortable position for that. And now I'm sure they're going to go ahead and look to try and push this pretty hard. I don't want to see them back off. I want to see them go ahead and start to over aggress. They have that ability. They have the extra buffs to work with. So go ahead and abuse it.
This case isn't running out of ghosts anytime soon.
They cower before us.
Is anyone else hearing the clicking on the stream?
Yeah, I heard that too. I'm not sure what that is.
Thomas, could you like restart your?
Exquisite work, Seven.
Okay, seems to be fine now. But yeah, I think I do agree with Anya. Like, I think what they should have been sort of just capitalizing on is when everyone was just kind of split up after that initial soul difference, they should have been ganking instead. Because you have to sort of capitalize on someone being solo or just, you know, catching someone off guard. You have to kind of do that sort of stuff and make those risky plays. So you just cannot make that soul difference back up normally. And I will also say, I do think there could have been an attempt to steal the Rejuvenator, but that was never made, even though I do believe they were all up at the time.
What's happening now, fellas?
Yeah, I mean, this is just the after effects of grabbing the Rejuvenator, I feel.
Yeah, no, we're just seeing them go ahead and start to roll on through. They found both the protectors, and now it's all down to the patron. He's all alone, no one really to assist. We're starting to see the respawns come through, and they have to come up in a big way. The Emperor Patron is about to fall. We do see a nice little block up. That's not going to be able to negate too much damage. They need to go a little bit farther. But regardless, at least stalls things forward to allow these players from the side of Emperor to look for an engagement or two, and it's at least stalling things a little bit. Regardless, the transformation does occur. The patron does fall down to the center, and now we're going to be looking to see if they can go ahead on the side of Emperor and maybe find themselves a full reset, because they need to find these specs. They've eliminated Bebop once, but finding Seven, finding Pocket, finding Abrams are going to be the important ones to go ahead and eliminate. And as we see it, just grind it on down. A patron eliminated on out, and the first victory goes the way of EU. That's going to be Bomba, able to go ahead and close things out and take things their way in a rather demanding fashion as well.